before they are implemented. It has been an annual ritual, Honorable Speaker, but as I've always commented and I keep on commenting, it would seem that even though the Constitution bestowed the powers to make the budget on National Assembly, but there are too many extraneous and other forces outside there that eventually shape the outcome of the budget. Honorable Speaker, I stand here looking at the budget as the estimates have been presented, budget estimates, and obviously the first glaring observation that we need to make is that there has been an increase over the limits set under budget policy statement and the limits presented by the National Treasury to this House that has gone through various processing to get where we are. A quick review, Honorable Speaker, indicates that this Honorable House or the committee is proposing an increase close to 60 billion or 600 billion, actually 600 billion beyond the figures that had been presented by National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, I keenly listened to the Chair, Budget and Appropriation Committee, and I truly sympathize with him. Sympathize with him that probably the data has been presented paints a very rose picture, while the reality is the complete opposite, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's estimated that the economy grew, actually the economy grew by 5% in 2023. There has been optimistic projection that will grow by 6.5, some 5.5, but the reality, and looking at the dispatch from the World Bank released today in a meeting in China, has downgraded the growth, GDP growth of this economy to remain at the same level of 5%. So essentially, Honorable Speaker, we are stagnating, we are not moving. And the argument is so simple, Honorable Speaker. The growth rate of 5% last year was fueled with increased production in the agricultural sector. We have already reached the highest level of production we can reach. The rains, whatever much it rains, will still produce the same. So the agricultural sector is likely to record no meaningful change. So therefore, the rate of economic growth will remain the same. The status quo will remain the same. So to project a budget that is optimistic or based on projected increase in GDP growth rate is a fallacy and is off the mark, Honorable Speaker. That's why I say I sympathize with him. The data he was being given, well, obviously, anybody can cook data, anybody can play around with the statistics to fool any particular case. Honorable Speaker, we projecting to collect 2.94 trillion the coming financial year. We projected almost the same amount, and we did not hit anywhere close to that figure. So this bullish view that our deficit will only be about 630-something billion, this particular financial year we are going into, again is based on the wrong assumption. We will again have another supplementary budget. And Speaker, I want you to go on record. Remind me this day, the number of supplementary budgets are going to be brought here to rationalize the budget, because the assumptions under which this budget is being made are wrong assumptions and will not really work at all. And that's why it's always important, Honorable Speaker, that we better be realistic. We get it wrong at the point of budgeting. And why do we get it wrong at the point of budgeting? Because the government, so to speak, the executive, so to speak, has not been in a position to clearly have a better look. What do we need to do? What do we need to do to get the proper figures to move forward? Honorable Speaker, you cannot grow an economy without production. You cannot grow the economy without manufacturing. You cannot grow the economy without moving goods and services in the economy. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the budget estimates, the productive sector, the blue economy, industry, which comes under manufacturing, small enterprise businesses, investment, Honorable Speaker, has been only allocated a paltry 35 billion. Yet, you want industry, manufacturing, and the related sector to contribute 15 to 18 or 20% of the GDP. I mean, it does not just make economic sense. It doesn't. You must put your money where you can generate higher returns, where the rate of return, where the marginal utility is beyond 1. Honorable Speaker, I do not see how we are even going to generate the so-called 2.9 trillion from which sector. We have increased taxes in the last financial year. We have not been able to hit even the target. Yet we continue building on the wrong fallacy. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, in the wisdom of the framers of the Constitution, devolved some certain functions to the counties. Functions, funds, budget must follow functions. Honorable Speaker, how do we explain the Ministry of Health has got a whooping allocation of 131 billion, which is close to 5.5% of the national government budget? What's the rationale? Yet health is a devolved function, yet when you go to most hospitals in the rural Kenya, there are no drugs, there are no provisions, there are no gloves, there is literally nothing. Are we undermining devolution? Are we undermining devolution? Even the small amount the Council of Governors were complaining about, this 131 billion would have actually plugged the gap, would not have even gone to mediation. Honorable Speaker, it is time we must rationalize our budget. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, why 4.8 billion Office of the Deputy President? What for? You mean there's too much mandazis, that there are too many visitors, there are too many saved people, there are too many intercessors, there are too many prayer functions that has to consume a whooping 4.8 billion. Yet it's part of the presidency, and if you add the 9-point-something billion under the presidency, we are close to about 16 billion on one office alone. Office that does not produce any goods and services, office that does, the rate of employment is very minimal. Are we really serious without a budget making? Honorable Speaker, in the same office of the President, there's 400 million put there for coffee reforms, tea reforms, and drugs, fighting drugs. Yet, there's a Ministry of Agriculture. There is a Ministry of Trade and Industry that is dealing with the coffee reforms. The Ministry of Agriculture dealing with tea reforms. Ministry of Interior dealing with drug menace. Is it not duplication, a waste of resources? What kind of a government are we trying to prop up in this event? Yet, when it comes where it matters most, we have very many issues. Honorable Speaker, also looking at the various issues here, and I want to echo the comments that have been raised by our colleague, Dr. Ivo Bara. Honorable Speaker, it's so embarrassing for a member of parliament to keep on hovering from one office to another. From one office of PS, you are to chief financial officer, whatever it is. Here there are colleagues here. And if you look at this order paper, Honorable Speaker, it's littered with the cases where there's been an increase or reduction in respect of certain projects where members have got interest. What about those who do not sit in those committees? Do they have a chance to get electricity in their areas? And that's why I concur with the policy statement made by the committee that the national government needs, like the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, ensure the integrated financial management information system is engineered to include constituent. I finish. Honorable Speaker, I want the committee of Budget Appropriation Committee and the Committee of Implementation to ensure this policy statement, policy resolution, is implemented without delay. That the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury ensure the integrated financial management information system is engineered to include constituency-based geographical location of development projects before submission of the financial year 2025-2026 budget policy statement. And I can see the Vice Chair is here, my neighbor in the great county of Busia. Will go tell the people of Busia that she sits in the committee that refused to implement a policy statement passed by the Parliament of Kenya. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.